Hello, big world. So, on I think Tuesday, I'm gonna go and have yet another MRI of my brain. I've had dozens of MRIs of my brain over the past, I guess 4.5 years. I had the seizure in April of 2021, and that was when I had my first MRI of my brain. So I've put this in other videos too, but the tumor was so big that they thought that it was blood clots. And when I had an MRI 3 months later, like, I started taking blood thinners and stuff, and they were expecting the spots to get smaller, but when they didn't, they were like, yeah, it's a brain tumor. So, I used to, when I was going to have an MRI of my brain, I used to, rally the troops and be like, okay, I'm having another scan of my brain, and, pray for it to be stable, or, send the good juju, or whatever it is that you do. Keep me in your thoughts and your prayers. And these days, I notified a few people that I'm having another MRI of my brain, but I think that there's something about, like, that I've learned just in this past, like, year and a half, is just that everything is okay. Even if the cancer starts coming back, like, even if, so everything is going to be okay, and everything already is okay, and okay doesn't always mean comfortable. It is intense. I've had two interventions, I guess, two treatments for this, two surgeries for this brain cancer, and then I had mistletoe infusions, which is kind of a more holistic approach to cancer, and that can be of, like, any part of the body. They just because I've also had cervical cancer, and so the mistletoe extract is more for any cancer in any part of the body, but it's just, it's so interesting to me to be, like, having this MRI, and the last time I had an MRI, it took a month before I met with the neuro-oncologist to go over the results, and I was like, hey, like, this is not, I know you released it to my chart after, like, 48 hours, but my preference is to go over it with a neuro-oncologist and not try to, like, decipher what it means. And also that, like, after I had that MRI that I had a few months ago, like, he called before I met with him, and it was like, oh my God, is everything okay? It was the MRI, stable, and I was like, when I talked to him, I was like, I don't want to have that. I don't want to have that either. I don't want to have that, like, like, resistance when I see your name pop up on my phone that you're calling me, like, especially if I'm, not able to get to my phone because I'm otherwise engaged, but I see that you've called. So, and he was like, he had two residents in there with him and their students, and so he was like, that's not okay for you to wait a month to meet with me. So let's do something about that. Let's have you schedule your next appointment with me, and then schedule your MRI for 2 days to a week before that, because you'll need to schedule with me first. And I said, I have never had to wait a month to meet with the neuro-oncologist after I have had an MRI of my brain. And so I was like, it makes me feel like I'm just a disease and not a person. And, I was crying, and he heard it, and his two students heard it too. And so that, like, that compassion and the humanizing part of it, I think is important. And I'm really grateful that I have such a wonderful team of doctors that are taking such good care of me. So that's it for today.